Are you ready for some short book reviews, some business books, some non-fiction, some nice romance, some fantasy? All of that is there in this video. So if you are new here, make sure you subscribe and follow me on my social media and hit that bell button so that you get notified every time I post a new video. I post every day a Hindi video at 9 a.m. and an English video at 6 p.m. So make sure you subscribe and let's get started with our wrap up. The first book is Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. I do have a copy, but I am lending it to a friend because it's such powerful, such an amazing business book. It is for the people who want to create an online brand. It is for the businesses who want to use the power of online media and try to grow their business like that. Gary Vaynerchuk, the author himself, is a very famous person who has built his brand through social media, and he can really tell you about how to do that for your business, for your brand. Only thing I can say about it is that you have to read it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next one is a self-help book, which is My Dog, My Guru by Gilles Mortonnet. Now this book actually gives you some self-help lessons which are inspired from a dog. I loved how short this book was, but how powerful the lessons were, and it was very funny because everything was being explained to you by using and analyzing the behavior of a dog. It was funny and amazing, and I'm definitely rereading this book because the lessons are really good and you have to keep rereading it and memorize them so that you have a very powerful takeaway from this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, I guess. Next review is of a slightly romance but a very light-hearted read, which is If You Could See Me Now by Cecilia Ahern. Now when I started it, I thought it was like a real romance book, but it is not. It is more like there is this woman who is living with her nephew and she has a very troubled life. She is like more like a stone-hearted person right now, like not bad person, but the things that have happened to her that have made her very anti-socialite and close to the world. And then this imaginary friend comes, Even. Now Even is an imaginary friend who comes into her life and totally changes her life. At times it's funny, at times you're like, but it's a very nice summary read. So if you're looking for a good summary that you want to just read on a nice breezy summer day, then pick up this book. I won't say expect a lot from this book, but it's nice, and I give it 3.5 to 4 out of 5 stars. It's like it was enjoyable. Sometimes you just want to enjoy, right? Next review is, and this book doesn't need a review, it's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now I reread this book and I got so much from it. Even during rereading the book, like I read the Harry Potter series like 2 years ago, and there was so much new that I could find in this book while rereading it. It's amazing. Like obviously Harry Potter is the best book to be read during winter days, but I do not mind. I really loved this book. I really loved going through it. 4 out of 5 stars. If you haven't read Harry Potter series, you have to pick it now. Pick it now. Next, I reread The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I was actually listening to an audiobook of this, and this was my first audiobook. I loved the experience of the audiobook. The narrator, Karen Savage, she is amazing, and I really enjoyed listening to an audiobook. I'll be sharing my experience about listening to audiobooks very soon, but otherwise I really loved this book. My ratings stay the same, 4 out of 5 stars. If you haven't read The Secret Garden, you should read it. Finally, I read a horror book as well, which is The Shining by Stephen King. Now I would not say I was like super scared with it. Like the whole concept and the idea of 3 people living in a very closed place, which is actually haunted by supernatural elements, is scary, and at times it's creepy, but it kind of plays with your mind more than, you know, scares you. But you know, the horror doesn't always have to be so scary that you cannot go to the bathroom alone or you cannot live alone in your room. It is like, I think it was a good kind of horror, and I really enjoyed reading The Shining. I feel like a lot of people told me that, Manpreet, you should read The Shining and then you will fall in love with Stephen King. I I haven't fallen in love with him, but I am definitely reading more of Stephen King because of this book. So yes, if you're looking for a horror book, I have given you one, and now you can start reading it while I find my another horror read which I really loved reading and would love to recommend you. So yes guys, these are the books that I read last month, and yes, I hope you enjoyed these mini reviews. If you did, make sure you hit a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, because somebody may want a fantasy or like a push to read Harry Potter, or a horror recommendation, or a self-help recommendation, or a business book recommendation, and you ought to give this video to your friends. I'm just blackmailing you to share my video, but do share it if you liked it, and hit a thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe and bell button is on so that you get notified every time I post a new video. There are so many new videos coming up, you gotta subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Manpreet signing off. I'll be back with another video very soon.